A cruise to nowhere in Singapore has been cut short after a passenger tested positive for COVID-19. More than 2,800 people on board the Royal Caribbean cruise liner are disembarking this evening. Now, they've been stuck on the ship for more than 14 hours. Vanessa Lim is live at the Marina Bay Cruise Centre in Singapore, and she joins us now. Vanessa, we hear that passengers have started leaving?
Yes, they actually started leaving about half an hour ago. Now, there are over 2,600 people on board that ship. That's the Royal Caribbean vessel in question, over half of which are passengers. Now, because of this, to ensure safe distancing, what they've done is that they have actually released the passengers in batches. So they've actually assigned a group and a time for each passenger to actually disembark. Now, once they disembark from the ship, what they have to do is they have to cross over to the cruise center, which is on my right. And from there, they will have to undergo a wellness test, which includes a COVID-19 antigen test. And if they're found to be well, in the next 14 days, what they have to do, what the health ministry has advised them to do, is to monitor their health. And after that monitoring period, they will need to undergo a swabbing test. Now, this will be borne by the health ministry. So, this entire deal has been nearly, as you said, 14 hours. And for the passengers, many of them say that, it's been quite relaxed. But, why did it take so long? So basically what happened was that just across from this Royal Caribbean, earlier on, there was another cruise ship that is the World Dream, which is operated by Genting Cruise Lines. And this ship had to wait for the other ship to complete its embarking process so that there's no chance of mingling between the passengers of the two ships. Now, the World Dream, which is the other ship, actually brought forward its embarking process and set sail 3 hours ahead of schedule, just so that the passengers on this ship could disembark a little bit earlier. Now, what's next is that this ship has already started its process of full sanitation. It will go through deep cleaning, and if there are no changes to plans, this ship will set sail again tomorrow. Passengers I spoke to who have actually booked tickets for this ship tomorrow say they do plan to continue with the sail despite what has happened today. They've actually expressed confidence in the way that the cruise has actually handled this entire event.
Well, thanks very much for that update, Vanessa Lim, there at Singapore's Marina Bay Cruise Centre. Gwen Letio takes a look at how the day unfolded with a chain of events.
It's supposed to still be sailing, but the Royal Caribbean Quantum of the Seas found itself back in Singapore. Earlier, while out at sea, its over 2,800 crew and passengers were told by the captain in the wee hours at about 2:45 a.m. that they were returning because of a suspected COVID-19 case. 5 hours later, while docked at the Marina Bay Cruise Centre, the captain's next update confirmed their fears.
The Quantum of the Seas turned back on the third day of a 4-day cruise after a suspected case of COVID-19 was reported on board. The 83-year-old man had gone to the medical centre with diarrhea and was given a PCR COVID-19 test as part of protocol. He was later confirmed as a positive case when the ship was already back in dock.
Passengers had to remain in their rooms while contact tracing was underway. Close contacts were isolated and swabbed, and all came back negative. Then, around 2:30 p.m, an ambulance was seen leaving the cruise centre. Passengers were told at 3 p.m. that the patient had been sent to hospital for further testing and that the ship was in the process of full sanitation. They were also told they couldn't disembark until a neighbouring cruise ship had fully boarded its passengers for its night departure.
Passengers on board say safety protocols were strictly followed. Some say they're shocked but are satisfied with how things were handled. Lili Ying reports.
Janice Leong was taking a vacation with her 3-year-old toddler when it was cut short. They were awoken in the wee hours of the morning by news that someone on board their cruise could have COVID-19.
I thought I was dreaming at 2:45 a.m. when the captain announced. I woke up and I realized it's not a dream. But I felt like there's no need to panic.
She had to find ways to keep her active son entertained, as passengers were not allowed to leave their rooms. The operator did their part to keep them happy, with prompt service and plenty of food. She says even before the incident, staff were vigilant and took care of them, such as by ensuring they followed safety measures.
They gave us this their new Bluetooth tracing thing, which they call it a tracelet. Yeah, that we wear. Even my son has it for easy contact tracing. So that is one measure which I feel is very necessary. And also they urge us to have our Trace Together app. It's whenever we enter a restaurant, they won't let us in if they don't see us put our hand there and sanitize it. Yeah, which is very comforting, I would say.
Another passenger, Rizal Ramli, went on the trip with his wife and 2 children. He feels the operator handled the situation well, and there was prompt and clear communication with passengers. But he says pre-departure testing should be done closer to the boarding date.
On Friday, and I'm sure many other guests also had their test on Friday or Saturday. That's like a couple of days before we go on board the cruise, and a lot of things can happen within those couple of days. So that is one measure maybe could be improved.
Guests will receive a refund for the day of the trip they've missed out on. They'll also get credit to use on a future cruise trip, amounting to 1 day's worth of the fare. Any guest who tests positive for COVID-19 during the cruise will get a full refund.